the gender ratio is a problem out, because at the end of the day, like, you know, we need more women out here, and we need more of that perspective.
I think hacker houses are special because of like that motivation you can get from the people that you surround yourself with, and so it is nice to like be surrounded by people who are putting as much in as you are.
In San Francisco, hacker houses are more popular techies to network and raise millions. Jennifer Lee is one of the VCs sponsoring this hacker house. To her, it was important to support women in tech.
I love investing in early stage companies as much as I love investing in MVPs. I thought of that as an MVP to test out the idea.
4 full-time and 3 part-time residents. They share one goal: to build the next big thing. Some are creating startups, interning at major companies like Google and Apple, or pausing their studies. Others, like Kantian, have chosen to drop out of college to focus entirely on their vision.
I run a company called Mt.Gox. We're building the world's most proactive personal assistant. And what that means is we're building someone who can understand your needs before they even arise, by reading things like your text messages, your emails, by just sitting on top of every stream of information you're getting in your life.
Kantian walked us through a live demo of her application, showcasing the innovative features she's developing.
Okay, let's see. Turn it up.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Knox, what's up?
Hey, Molly. Just making sure everything is set for your big day with CNBC. I've got the reminder and email ready for you. Need anything else? Maybe a ride or some last-minute prep tips?
Well, actually, you're on camera right now, so do you have anything to say to the crew that's listening to us?
Hey, CNBC crew. Excited to be part of this segment. Molly's got an amazing startup with you, Knox, and I'm here to make sure she's always one step ahead. If you need any help or have any questions, just let me know.
The tech sector shed more than 386,000 jobs in 2022 and the first half of 2023.
80% of Twitter either left or quit or was pushed out, laid off, whatever you want to call it, and yet the website still runs.
Approximately 50,000 H-1B holders lost their status due to unemployment.
LinkedIn just laid off nearly 700 employees. Qualcomm is planning to cut more than 1,200 jobs. Google, Amazon, and Snap are among the companies continuing to downsize.
And the start of 2024 seems no different as layoff announcements, especially in the tech industry, continue to make headlines.
Units affected, they also include hardware, engineering, ad sales. So far, last night, CEO Sundar Pichai told his workforce to expect more cuts.
An Amazon spokesperson did confirm those layoffs. So the cuts to prioritize investments for the long term.
Layoffs are also plaguing industries like healthcare, banking, and media. However, the tech industry is the one that's been dominating the headlines.
This layoff and everything that's happened in tech, it's just like any other job. It's a great place to be. There's a lot of great perks, but at the end of the day, they can get rid of you like that.
The layoffs to the start of 2024 signal a dramatic shift in the tech industry. We're going to continue to see layoffs happen as the future of work has changed, as the future of technology has changed.
So why are big tech companies and other industries laying off tens of thousands of workers at a time when the U.S. economy looks strong on paper?
Welcome to the Cryptoteacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we know teamwork makes the dream work. This video was sent to me. Hacker houses, and we know women need to get into the space, but what a name. And they're building the 4th industrial revolution, and who's investing? That's right, Andreessen, my God. And she talks about an AI assistant that's reading your text and email. It's going to know what you want before you even know it. And because so many people put so much information inside their cell phones, whether it's texting, email, social media, if someone gets a hold of that information, they'll know you better than you know yourself. And we know the 4th industrial revolution is all about data. And then we have the tech layoffs. And guys, you know, I talk about it all the time. These are the good paying jobs, the real middle class. And a lot of those tech workers are from overseas. We know majority of our IT was contracted out. And we know the NWO uses you for the agenda. And now all those overseas workers are out of work. and there's more layoffs to come. And remember, the crypto teacher told you. And we have the port strike looming. But guys, we know if it happens, it's part of a plan just to test the routes and then all this technology. Don't forget the bridge collapsing, and they had to do reroutes. Guys, we know everything is part of this plan to get us moved over to the fourth industrial revolution. We know for a fact they don't want to pay workers 77% more money than what they're already paying them. Can all these companies afford it? Yes, they can. We have trillion-dollar companies now on the stock market. It's unbelievable. Only thing you have to do is go back to the 80s and look at the difference between the CEO pay and workers' pay, and you'll see how we ended up here. And since the sheep stayed asleep, now the NWO has the machines. Now they're going to take all the power away from the people. At least that's what the people think, because they believe in this illusion. But the Most High's children, the chosen ones, we know how to come together, work together, and then also create. That's the reason why we never fall for the devil's tricks. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
As we approach the deadline for a possible strike at the East Coast and Gulf Coast ports at midnight on Monday, the International Longshoremen Association has said they will strike if the port operators known as the USMX do not offer what they want when it comes to compensation and restrictions on the use of automation. Yesterday, USMX filed an unfair labor practice complaint with the National Labor Relations Board, claiming the union refuses to negotiate. That's a claim that the ILA denies. East and Gulf Coast ports, they move more than $2 billion in goods every single day. We spoke with C.H. Robinson, one of the biggest movers of freight from Asia to the U.S. They estimate that companies can still realistically expect to get imports and other freight from East and Gulf Coast ports for just another day, maybe even beyond that. But after that, they say it's really time to look for alternative routes.
If you've got goods from Europe you need for the holiday season, you're going to want to look at alternatives. Maybe come through Canada, the Canadian Gateway, maybe come through a non-ILA port on the East Coast. There are a couple of small niche ports that fall into that category. You have air freight as an option.
I've spoken to a number of companies, and they say creating that alternative routing, it comes at a premium. Some saying contract rates double if freight moves from East or Gulf Coast ports to the West Coast. There's also expected to be a cost to the U.S. economy. The National Association of Manufacturers says 2/3 of exports and more than half of imports of containers move through these ports. The auto, pharmaceutical, and aerospace industries, they're expected to see some of the biggest impacts. Joining me now to discuss is the president and CEO of the National Association of Manufacturers, Jay Timmons. Jay, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Jay, let's just talk about it. Your group, the National Association of Manufacturers, you have a lot of big name companies in there. I'm just looking at the list. I see Pfizer, I see Winnebago, Johnson & Johnson. I mean, such a broad range of companies. What's the impact to these companies if we do see this strike?
Well, it's going to be a pretty heavy hit, to be quite honest about it. Look, I mean, we are kind of on tenuous ground right now economically. Manufacturers have begun to emerge from the impact of the pandemic, the supply chain shortages and crises that we've dealt with. Interest rates are starting to now ease off a little bit. So today, we have the opportunity, I think, to move forward, to ensure that our economy is moving up and getting better, and that workers are, in a good place. But unfortunately, this strike, I think, could really harm consumers. It could harm the economy overall. You noted over $2 billion of impact every single day if this happens. So we're very concerned about what's coming up potentially next week. And that's why we want the administration to get involved in this dispute.
Jay, you mentioned the administration, spoken to the White House, spoke to them at length about this. Also, the Department of Labor, they've also issued a statement. I'm talking about the White House. I want to read to you what they said in part. We encourage all parties to remain at the bargaining table and negotiate in good faith. We've never invoked Taft-Hartley to break a strike and are not considering doing so now. Taft-Hartley is something a lot of people have called on the Biden administration to do to deal with some labor disputes, not only this one, but some others in the past during President Biden's term. Do you believe that the Biden administration should intervene in that way?
Well, we still have a few days left, right? And hopefully negotiations will continue and there will not be a strike. I think that's the most important thing that can happen. Both sides come to the table. try to work something out. But if it doesn't happen, I think it's incumbent on the administration to take a hard look at invoking Taft-Hartley. That happened during the administration of George W. Bush. We haven't had a strike with these ports in over 50 years. And so the economic impact of this could be pretty consequential. And I don't think the administration, as we're just really starting to get our feet under us in the manufacturing sector, I don't think they want to see that be taken away from us.
You know, I really want to kind of lean in on this, Jay. I mean, we showed the numbers, we're showing some of the industries, but when you say that these different companies could be hurt, exactly what do you mean? Would it make them less competitive? Would it, increase? I'm sorry, please go ahead.
Yeah, no, of course it makes them less competitive. Of course it drives up the costs. But I think you have to look at the entire impact on the economy. It's not just the businesses that are impacted. Ultimately, business will continue, and we'll figure out alternatives if necessary. Yes, we can go to Canada. Yes, we can go to Mexico. Yes, we can ship into and out of this country from the West Coast, which is just think about the additional time and the additional expense that it takes to do that. But what really is impacted are the consumers of this country. Some of the biggest imports that we have coming into the East Coast are, coffee and beverages. Pharmaceuticals, one of the biggest exports, as well as the products that are needed to be a part of that pharmaceutical supply chain coming into this country. Autos, if this happens and our ability to export our products, our auto products, that harms workers in the auto industry as well. So the knock-on effect of a shutdown or of a strike really are quite damaging across the entire economy.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting it more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets. Now,
it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and you know, when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 kids books, is time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.